It's a beautiful day in Southern Oregon at this park, and I wanted to shoot this brief video to hopefully be helpful to somebody. And excuse me, and it's me, Fabian. So the Republican Party, the conservative movement, has been taken over, just hijacked, utterly hijacked by Maga and the Maga chief. And there's several main points where it proves that this man is a Satanist, and I don't say that lightly. And he's a liar, and he lies as well or better than any of the left. But he has helped train, and Fox News and other conservative outlets that constantly pit the right against the left, have got you guys, most of you, so focused on the left as the only enemy and the main enemy, that the very enemy, the Trojan horse within, that is about to totally take down America. When I say about, I mean 2028 end is factual. So I know that New York City, I've done my homework, and I've read a very interesting book by, I believe he's a physicist, or just a real smart person, that New York fits all the characteristics of the Mystery Babylon, and it can be the only one that fits. I mean, it totally, I bought the book on Amazon, and it absolutely, I see that it's correct. So we're in that time, we're in Revelation. It's very, very hopeful, because the rescue of Earth and all the good people who refrain from resentments and judging people. And that can really only effectively be done if you are still from the insanity of the mind that the demons use. They use intelligence, they use the intellect. They give us thoughts and words in our head of what to think about, of what to desire. It thinks through us. So unless we just are, separate from that and living by the intuition that doesn't use words in our head and doesn't lead us to pride or resentments, then we'll be fine, and we'll be part of the people that are rescued. But if we continue to live from the false conscience, that intelligence, you have to see it, you have to see how crafty it is, then we're not likely to be pulled off in the real rapture when Jesus arrives with his army, and we'll end up in a dark place where I guess a lot of people want to go, it seems like. But I'm not going to judge. I don't know how many people will be saved, or who will be saved, or I'm not assuming I'm going to be saved. I know I have to keep vigilant and always watch the mind, as I described, because it daily makes war on all of us. But the war's already been won by Jesus and God, so they have the power of it, so it's not like a big deal, as long as you know how to fight it, which is not fighting it and separating and living from intuition, which the Roy Masters Be Still exercise is highly effective in doing. He is the greatest man after Jesus, bar none, and he's in heaven now. And so Roy Masters Be Still exercise, please, if you practice it diligently and without will, and only to see the truth, you'll be good. You'll be freed from the mind. You'll see that. But you got to be careful not to do it to lay over your sins and use it as another habit. No, that's not what it's about. It's about freeing you from sin and the mind, where sin begins. So there's several points that I want to show briefly to prove that the man is a Satanist, and he is the little horn of Daniel, the man of sin. And his tower, his Trump Tower, is a tower to Satan. There's a really good, and I'm going to link it in the description when I get home. There's a really good video that shows this graphically. And it's like a very fair documentary. It's like 38 minutes. And in that you'll see I believe it's in that documentary, but he goes into the inside of it and a lot of other things and shows that Trump is a Freemason. And I believe Charlie Kirk was a Freemason too. You can see him in several talks where he's holding his hand in that, Freemason hand signal thing, which Trump always does, which is really bizarre. So the Trump Tower has a 666 pattern at the bottom, which was very intentional, obviously, and there's bushes to it, like small trees, so it goes 6 across, 6 down, and then 6 up in a triangle, 666 pattern. And then the inside of his suite is adorned with gold, and it doesn't have Jesus and God, it has the Greek gods, which represent the dark side. And also you can see that he's instituted the largest mass murder and injury of the American people by helping to infect, opening the door, the Pandora's box, to infect their DNA and transcribe it into a poison-producing vehicle throughout the body that cannot be shut off. Did he make sure that it was safe? Did he go into different, listen to different doctors that warned that it would not be safe? Did he look at the actual history of mRNA when it was tried on animals, that most of them ended up dying? Did he send scientists and doctors to look under microscope of batches that were sent throughout the country to make sure that it didn't have weird stuff in it? No, he didn't do any of that. He went fully with the pharma mafia lie, and the buck stops with the president, as Truman said. So any of you MAGA people who continue to compartmentalize this with horrible, horrible deaths, myocarditis of even kids, and millions of victims dying or dead, and then his continuation, the FDA has deregulated more mRNA. That's a fact. I'll put it in the description. And he's continued to gaslight people to repeatedly say that it saved millions of lives when it's the exact opposite. It didn't save anybody. You don't hack into God's wonderful DNA without severe consequences, which was warned, but he didn't listen. So now, does he back off and help people and warn them? Well, now we're seeing moderate warnings, like, the JFK Jr. is I saw a headline today that it's deadly or dangerous to kids. No, that's not good enough. It's dangerous to humans. See, they're feeding you guys little tidbits to try to think that you're going to get help from them, but it's not coming, because none of them will actually call out what it actually is. It has you can see under a microscope, it has 9 nanochips that makes people trackable. That's just a fact. That's not conspiracy. It's proven by several scientists and doctors. Will they come out? See, they're a part of it. They're part of it. If you don't stand against it, you end up being part of it. That's just the way it is. It's so horrendous I think it says that in the Bible too. So not only that, but he's also continues to lie about I believe the biggest tax increase in our history by him, and he's created financial chaos for a lot of people and a lot of nations by these tariff taxes, which most companies, they pass it on to the consumer, but he lies about it, and he says, oh no, it won't get passed on, and he made sure that he continues to say that when we can see at the market. I mean, coffee beans, a lot of other stuff up $2 at Winco. I was going to look at some shoes that eBay. I didn't realize he was in Japan, and he has them like double the price. And he told me because the tariffs are so huge, he had to do that. So he's going to end up not being able to sell them. And how many other companies and how much? This is just a spiraling negative effect. Because it's a massive tax on companies. It's not a tax on the nations like Trump tries to make you judge the other nations like we're getting back at them for them screwing us. No, it's an attack on companies. He's a deceiver. It's an attack on companies and small businesses, and many here, if you do looking, are laying off people because a lot of them are dependent, and there's nothing wrong with being dependent on manufacturing from overseas as long as it's not overdone. And the excuse, if you believe it, you really need to wake up because, well, we want to bring more manufacturing over here. Well, that's fine. And a lot of manufacturing has come back, but it also, for some, it's not tenable and it's not practical, and it would take years. So in the meantime, you're going to end up having higher unemployment, which we're already seeing, a lackluster job creation, very, very low. It's probably going to create a depression if it continues on. So you see, it's another. There's not a good intent to it, because if there was, he would be very honest about it. But he's not. He's not telling you. He's trying. Well, he doesn't go into Walmart or into Winco or into other stores to buy stuff and see the inflation. So he's just, I guess maybe he believes the lie, but all you have to do is look at the data that shows that inflation is going up. He knows it, but he's a liar because his father that he's converted to is, we know, started as a liar, and that's all he does. He'll say truths to try to get you to believe another lie. That's what Satan does, in your mind. He'll say truths, he'll say conservative truths, and then he'll slip in there horrible things at other moments. That's why we need to be really just separate from the intellect, from thoughts and words, and live by intuition. Just simple insights, ideas, And so there's a lot of proof that this man is a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's very clear. And if you guys, claim to be conservative, you're not, because if you were, you conserve good, and especially in our party, and good in all things. So not jump over something. This is huge, huge. And a lot of people don't want to have disapproval from their friends because they would have to stand against this Maga fool. And they don't want to do it, or they're not spiritually connected in order to have the strength to do it. And I understand that, but they're also very willfully cowardly, and they better snap out of that. And Morty. So, and I just, the recent assassination of Charlie Kirk. I saw a vigil over in Grants Pass, Oregon, from church people, and they're all, praying out loud what Jesus said don't do. It's real clear. And they're, kind of, praying about Charlie. And in the meantime, Charlie was promoting the biggest promoter of Trump the deceiver, deceiving a lot of young people, helping keep them in the, right-left resentment, space or deception. Even if you're not resentful, it's just a deception. And so he was a MAGA fool, and I hope he made it to heaven. I don't like talking, negative of someone who just got murdered, but I don't know how you can when you're that deceived. But I really don't know. I'm not gonna. But I brought him up because he was very, very deceived also. And he wasn't calling out any of this. And, another thing is that Trump now We know that he was very involved in the Epstein child rape, child sex cabal, and now because he's lying about it and he doesn't want people, trying to not want people to know when that's impossible at this point. He says now he's calling it a Democratic hoax. So see, he's playing off of your guys' judgment and hatred of the left, even to that degree. I mean, what a liar. And Charlie was told by the White House, he's on air saying that to be quiet about it, and he agreed to. So another instance of how he kowtowed to this dark cabal running our nation now. And then I think the next day he said, oh, well, he backed off and he said he would keep up on it. But I don't know. I never really listened to him. So maybe he did or not. But at any rate, I just wonder if we'll find out more, I'm sure, if they don't murder him. But the shooter, I wonder if that's likely his MO, that he felt he was taking out someone who was promoting all these things, all these evil things, all this wolf in sheep's clothing all over the nation. I don't know, but it's still obviously evil, but there's a MO behind it. Why would a seemingly normal young man go and do that? But it was a horrific thing. But I find it odd how those people and many others were having a prayer vigil for Charlie. Well, why does Charlie deserve a prayer vigil? And there's lots of young kids, families, women, innocent in Ukraine that are being terror bombed daily as a way of war to try to get them submit to communist thuggery, like the third nation that Putin has tried to take over. He's taken over Georgia. He's taken over Crimea. They took over Chechnya in most horrendous mass murdering ways. There's no vigil for them, for those families. You know why? Because the MAGA brainwashed don't feel the compassion and the strength of moral character, because another instance of why this man is so dark, that he played nice with Putin, the mass murderer, and even had our military roll out a red carpet for him. Unbelievable. That's worse than appeasement. That is agreeing with the man. So that is why a lot of you MAGA people, you don't hold vigils for these families, brave, bold, in a huge nation that has broken away from communism, daily suffering and holding strong and winning on the battlefield. You don't hold prayer vigils for them, but you do for one MAGA man. I find that very odd and very unspiritual. With that, I will close, and I'm sure I will be further judged by many MAGA people, and I don't care. I don't live for people. I live for what I see, not what my intellect tells me, not what that intelligence talks to me, but what I see, and I stand on it, so then I see it stronger and stronger and stronger. And you guys need to do that. Okay, have a good one. God bless.